Hi guys, this is the Audiofool, and for today, we're going to review the Rega Elicit R integrated amp. What I like the most about the Rega Elicit R is that it has that fun musical Rega personality. It's a very enjoyable amp. You have nice loud bass without becoming too boomy or overbearing, detailed mids with decent thickness, and the highs are quite sharp and electric. And it can accommodate a good number of inputs, including a very nice phono stage if you're into vinyl. What I don't like about the Rega Elicit R is that it could be a little bit more neutral, so if you're looking for a neutral amp, you should look for something else. And the treble, while it's improved from the Elex R, it could be a bit fatiguing for some speakers, so you will need to choose what you're partnering it with. And most of all, I just find it a bit too expensive considering the competition, like the Arcam SA30 or the NAD M10s, both of which have streamers built in already. And while the Elicit R does offer a more exciting brand of music, I think in this price range, most people are looking for the more balanced kind of sound, so I've been audiobold. Elicits my emotions, but not my monies. If you want to hear more details about the comparison, please keep on watching. The Rega Elicit R is a nice looking amplifier, looking quite sturdy and well built. The wheel is used for volume and inputs, which is sort of annoying for me, as you first need to press the input button and then turn the wheel to go up and down the inputs. I find it much simpler to use the remote, well, except that you do need to turn the amp on and off with a physical button, so it probably doesn't matter because you are in front of the amp anyhow. From the top, you can see the heatsinks on the side, and this amp does get hot, at least on the Magnipan LRS, though not as much as the Aegir Ragnarok 1. 105 watts at 8 ohms and 162 watts at 4 ohms isn't something to write home about for the price, $3,000 or 1,600 pounds, but it should be more than enough to power most speakers in most rooms. At the back, you have switchable phono stage and 4 additional inputs, giving you lots of options, record level and direct inputs and record outputs, and a preamp output for a sub or second amp. Binding post and socket at the right. Feet are quite nice too, by the way. First, I compared them to the Schiit Aegir using the KEF LS50 and Yggdrasil. For the most part, I preferred the more mature sounding Aegir besting the Elicit in most songs except for Trials of the Past, where the extra bass made it much more fun. So electronica would be the Elicit's domain, driving the beats down for some fancy dancing. Bass has quite a bit more volume in the Elicit, although the Aegir would still have more definition. Mid-range is a richer affair in the Aegir, and despite that, it also actually has more textures. Vocals are forward in the Elicit, but the Aegir is slightly more forward. Treble is more extended in the Elicit, being leaner and having a bit more bite, but the Aegir does sound a tad cleaner and a bit more resolving. There's also a bit more depth to the soundstage of the Aegir, making it sound more intimate, and there's also more space between the instruments. The Aegir and the Elicit both sound quite good, though I do prefer the more relaxed, mid-centric Aegir. The Rega has more bass and has sharper highs, making it the more exciting listen, though I have to admit that sometimes my ears get too excited and I have to end my listening session a bit too prematurely. Those with the warm system looking to liven things up will likely enjoy the Elicit R, but keep in mind that there are also lots of competitors in this price class, so we have the Parasound Hint, the Arcam SA30s, and the NADs, but the Rega would be the more musical, more exciting listen. Next, I compared it to the Schiit Ragnarok 1, this time using the Tecton Impact monitors. Let's see if it's just an Elex R with more power, or maybe it brings something else to the table. In the Elex R review, I only like the Elex R better in 1 song out of 5, but in the case of the Elicit, I like the Elicit better in all songs. So there are differences and improvements, apart from just sounding cleaner. And this applies to genre selection as well, as it is simply the better sounding amp all around. There's more bass in the Elicit, making it a bit more heavy-handed, though there is still a tiny bit more definition in the Ragnarok. The Rag is also thicker in the mid-range, though there's a bit more texture in the Elicit. Vocals are slightly more forward in the Ragnarok 1. The treble is more highlighted and cleaner in the Elicit, and simply put, it's a brighter amp. It's also better in terms of soundstage, being wider and slightly deeper, and has better placement of instruments as well as separation. I was expecting a more refined Elix R, primer and proper, and while it does improve the sound quality a bit overall, it also flexes much more in the treble region, so it's not just a more powerful Elix R, it's much more. But still retains that fun musical Rega personality. So if you love your Elix R and you're looking for that next step, then the Elicit will be a very, very good upgrade as long as you're wary of the brighter tuning. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any comments or suggestions, just write them down below. See you in the next video.